and they had already said that they were going to gun him down like a dog. DeAndre was also asking to speak to his child's mother, who was pregnant at the time. She was also in another police car, and they wouldn't let him speak to her either. All the time that I'm in this police car, I'm asking for my nephew, and nobody's talking to me. Instead, they locked me in the car and went ahead about their business. The tape, I brought some with me in case you never saw it, and it's on YouTube. They actually recorded it. DeAndre asked them to record it. He asked them to tape it so if they kill him, that people could see that they killed him for nothing. They never did call the negotiating team out to solve the problem. Instead, they wanted to solve the problem by doing exactly what they did, and that's gunning him down over 81 times. So I've been fighting this ever since. But I was fighting before DeAndre. I was fighting when it happened to Tyisha Miller. I was fighting then, but not as much as I do now. So what I'm saying is that you don't want to wait until it happened to you to really get involved and do the things that we need to do together.
Hi everybody. I'm the mother of Jonathan Cuevas, who was shot and killed on October 10, 2010 by the Linwood Sheriff deputy. My son was coming home from a party. He called me, told me he got off the green line. He had 3 blocks to go home. He would call me as soon as he got home. He was walking with friends. They stopped at a liquor store. Somehow, after the liquor store, the officer approached them, and my son ran. When he ran, the officer shot him several times in the back. Once my son fell down, the officer stood over him and shot him some more. They left my son lying there, as far as what witnesses tell me, anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, bleeding to death. Ambulance showed up immediately after the incident, and they told the ambulance to leave. When the second ambulance came and the fire department responded, it was about 20 to 30 minutes after the shooting had happened, and they wouldn't let the staff, come and render help to my son. There was a lot of witnesses that night. There was cameras there. I've been getting the runaround from the sheriff and from the city as far as viewing the video. I have gotten different stories from the detectives or the lieutenants or whoever it is I talk to. One story is that he had a shootout with the officers, but the autopsy shows that was not true. There was no gun residue testing in his hands. When I questioned the detective handling the case, he said my son never fired a weapon. My son didn't have a weapon in his hand. And I asked him, then why did he shoot him? He said, I can't comment on that because I'm only dealing with the aftermath. He said, I'm the homicide detective. I wasn't there at the scene at the time that it happened. I don't know who the officer is. They have held his name. The mayor of the city where it happened, which is Linwood, told me that the officer had been transferred. And just recently, about a month ago, the captain stated on a news article he had not been transferred. He was actually released to go back to work 5 days after killing my son. This is the second person he's killed. I don't know in the time frame that it has been, but my son was the second person. And the captain who stated that said that the officer was so distraught after the first incident, and I asked him, then if he was so distraught, why did you allow him to go to work after the first incident? Now you're telling me that this officer could have been in the wrong state of mind when he shot and killed my son. He could have been having flashbacks, and that's why he did what he did to my son. I just don't understand. And then to be released 5 days after he killed my son, and this is his second murder, I don't get that. So I'm really pushing forward to try to organize a civilian group that can come out to the officer involved shootings, so that they can also investigate to see if they come out with the same conclusion as all the inner departments do, because the departments scratch my back, I scratch yours, and see what we can do here. I know that it's in the last phase of the investigation, and I already know that they're gonna say it's a justifiable shooting, but I have a lot of witnesses, videos that show otherwise. So one day in the future,